Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I am so excited to do. It is kicking off a new series on my channel and it is all about eyeshadow palettes. In a few of my videos I talked about how I want 2022 to be the year that I wear more of my makeup that is in my collection. I have a larger collection and I want to be using my eyeshadow palettes, especially the ones that kind of start to accumulate in the back of my closet, in the back of my drawers. So I decided to design a series that will help me out with that. So today we're kicking off the first one and I'm going to be sharing with you all of the eyeshadow palettes that I used in January of 2022. And I'm also going to be ranking them because I love ranking videos. I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my top favorite. So we got some reviews in here trying to keep me on track with the palettes that I'm using. I hope you enjoyed this series. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you will consider subscribing before you go. But let's go ahead and jump into the ranking for January 2022 palettes. Alright, before we get started, I do always share an outfit of the day. I just finished filming my Will I Buy It video for the week, and I said in there, I'm looking real nice from the here up, what you can see on camera, but I am also rocking my sweatpants because that's just what I feel like doing today. So I did use the Colourpop Secret Admirer collection, their Valentine's collection. So I'm just feeling a little Valentine's-y. I have on a bodysuit and then like a pink lace thing underneath, but then also my gigantic sweatpants because they're just so comfortable. I can't help it. It's just what I wanted to wear today, okay? So look, now we're back. Now we're back to being a professional YouTuber. I have a candle going in the background. You couldn't get more legit than me in this video, okay? I'm just saying. I did film this makeup look for my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word. I do a lot of demos over there, a lot of reviews in my stories. I started a new review series in my stories over there also. So if you're not following me yet, March Beauty Word, you'll get those. I will link all the rest of my makeup down below. I have quite a bit of Colourpop on and quite a bit of affordable makeup on my face today as well. So, like I mentioned, goal of mine, use more of my makeup, especially my eyeshadow palettes. I feel like, sir, is that necessary? I feel like a lot of us say the same things. I see it in my comments over and over. We have so many eyeshadow palettes, we don't use them enough. So I wanted to make it a goal of mine for this year to use more. And instead of just constantly going back to my favorites, I want to be grabbing for newer palettes. So I thought, what could keep me accountable? And I thought, well, why not a monthly series? I love series on my channel. Like I said, I just finished filming the Will I Buy It for the week. It's a series I post every single Wednesday talking about the new makeup releases. And this is a way that will be able to push me to be able to try more palettes because I'll want to film this video at the end of the month / beginning of the month. And I don't want to just be talking about 2 palettes. Like, well, that's not going to be an exciting video. So that is my plan. I hope that you like it. I hope that you look forward to these videos. So, and I'm also not going to do just palettes. In today's video, I have a shadow stick, a single shadow, and also an eyeshadow duo. So I'm just going to include all of the eye products that I use, but I figure it's just easier for the title and the algorithm and your interest to just say palettes. It's probably going to be majority palettes, and I have 9 that I'm going to be ranking from least favorite to top favorite, which I think is pretty good, especially because I did spend 10 days on vacation where I really didn't wear much makeup at all. Again, I'm just hoping this series will help me keep reaching for the new palettes, rotating through them, trying new things, trying new looks, using the throwback palettes as well as the new palettes. But you know when sometimes you think of an idea and you're like, wow, you're on it. Good one. You're a genius. Who are you? And then you actually sit down to formulate your plan and you're like, that was dumb. What have you done? Why did you think this was a good idea? That was me yesterday. I'm filming this on February 1st. That was me yesterday as I was going through my list and looking at the palettes and trying to rank them, and I was like, this is going to be such a challenge. There are some palettes, I think there's just one in today's video that I've only tried once. Otherwise, I do like to try palettes or just any products in general at least 3 times, but this is more of just kind of like a fun series to keep me on track of things. But everything else I have tried it multiple times, but that might happen going forward in these videos because I just tried one of the palettes, what was it, like 3 days ago or something like that. It's just gonna be so difficult because I have a mixture of new products, I have a mixture of just my favorites, you know, some holy grails for me. I have palettes mixed in with singles. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a really challenging series, but let's start it. We're nearly 5 minutes in, so let's start it. Welcome if you're new here, I love to chat. I sit at home by myself all day, okay? I like to chat. So starting off at number 9, I had to. We have the Pat McGrath Bridgerton palette. I'll say I like everything that I used this month. So sometimes with ranking videos, like, cause I do that for my makeup monthly, also all of the products I've been trying and I rank them from least to favorite. Sometimes I genuinely like everything. It's just, you know, you try to find different ways to rank them. I really do like everything in today's video. I decided to rank the Bridgerton at the bottom though, for the main reason being that this shadow right here, I had such a bad reaction on my eyes. So carmine is a pretty standard ingredient that seems to cause eye irritation. And I did look at the ingredients. Carmine is an ingredient for this shade. And so I wondered if maybe that's what was doing it. I have tried all the other shadows in this palette and I did not get a reaction from any of them, so it is just this one that is the culprit. So I will not be able to wear this one on my eyes, which I'm disappointed because it's a 6-pan palette. That takes it down to a 5-pan palette. Fortunately, I was very bummed about that, but I'm glad that all of the other shades work well for me. I will say too, I kind of docked some points for it because the release was very confusing to me. This came out on Christmas Day, December 25th, and I didn't even get shipping until well into January. I don't think it arrived at my house until like January 17th or 19th or something like that. And a lot of us were wondering, like, was this a pre-order? Like, did something, like, and it just wasn't said that it was a like, what happened here? There was a lot of people that was very frustrated with the shipping time, and it's just like the miscommunication, because if something's not going to ship for a couple weeks, it's good to know that as a consumer. So that was a little bit frustrating. So between the reaction that I had in my eyes and just like the waiting around for it and like what is going on here, that's why I decided to put it in the bottom. I love the packaging. I love Bridgerton. Bridgerton is one of my favorite shows. I can't wait for season 2. I will say too, the palette I feel like pulls a lot more pink than I thought that it was going to. Like even this matte shade, which looks pretty brown, I feel like it has those kind of like pinky purple tones to it, and then we have some more pinks in here. This blue is a fun topper, but it does need kind of like another shade under it to really get the full effect, unless you want to do it just on the lid and like maybe do like a little more ethereal glitter type of look, which could be really pretty. So it's a little bit more limited than I thought that it was going to be. I still like the other shades, the 5 other shades. They're pretty, they work well. Pat McGrath doesn't have my absolute favorite eyeshadow formula, but I like this one. I'm placing it at the bottom for the reasons that I stated, and still reggae Jean, call me. At number 8, like this is where I was like, I don't know how to rank. This is the hardest decision video topic I decided to do. But at number 8, I put in from Sigma, I put one of their eyeshadow base primers, and this is in Persuade. I love these. I talk about these all of the time. I've recommended them for years. So Persuade is just a matte, they call it an eye primer. I've worn it alone. I really, really love bubbly. And for this one, I actually meant to pack bubbly in my travel makeup bag. I have a whole video on what I took with me when I went to Mexico in January. I meant to pack bubbly, and somehow I grabbed Persuade, which is fine, but like that's literally why I decided to put it in at number 8, because I made a mistake and meant to grab another shade. Like seriously, this is how hard it was for me to rank. But I still do like Persuade. It just wasn't what I was going for on the trip. But I did actually end up using it because I brought this and I brought a single shadow that I'll be talking about also. And I just layered it. I put this down first and then I put the single shadow. It wasn't necessary, but I just was like, I felt like I should use it. But if I would have grabbed bubbly, I like to just put that one all over the lid because it's a very shimmery formula and it's so beautiful. It lasts for so long. I put it on the inner corner too. So I wish I would have grabbed bubbly. Persuade is still great. I'm an affiliate with Sigma. My code is Samantha. If you're looking for a good primer, or if you're looking for just like a nice matte, kind of like pinky neutral cream eyeshadow, Persuade is a good one. Coming in at number 7, I placed this one at number 7 because it is the palette that I've only tried one time, so I feel like I don't have like a real solid review on it yet. But this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is the Amrezy palette. So I used this in a recent trying new makeup, or was this one in my I think this one was my get ready with me for the launch of my new product for my brand. So this is where I used this palette, and it was because of this video that I reached for the Amrezy, because I was like, I need to have more palettes in that video. You said your goal was to use more of your eyeshadow palettes. I had a subscriber send this to me as I was in the process of like packing up my house and getting ready to move. So I actually never used it. It made it from Iowa to Vegas with me, but then it continued to just sit here. I wasn't using it because, you know, I try the new products. I like to try eyeshadows several times before I actually review them, and I still try to get my reviews up quickly. So sometimes my older products just sit there, but I was like, you know what? You're getting your Amrezy out, you're gonna use it. I went with a very pink look when I used this eyeshadow palette, and I liked it. I've only used like 3-4 shades out of this palette, but I thought the mattes blended nicely. The shimmer was really pretty. I used this like hot pink over here. There are some pressed glitters in here, which I won't use all that often. I'm not a big pressed glitter in the palettes type of girl, but I like Anastasia palettes. You're gonna be seeing another palette in this video too that's ranked really high, but because I've only tried it the one time so far, I'll put it in a ranking, like the monthly ranking, when I have my full like actual reviews up. That's why I decided to put it at number 7. Coming in at number 6, I have another collab palette. This is with Kaleidos. This is the collaboration with Angelica, and this is the Club Nebula palette. This is a beautiful palette. I've talked so highly about this one. Again, I like all of the palettes, all of the products I'm mentioning in this video. I put it in at number 6 because it is a little bit more of a colorful palette, so sometimes that's not always quite me, but I really liked the look that I created last time with it. So I do have memberships here on YouTube. I do a member exclusive video every single month. I do also do live Zooms. I have a book club also, so if you're interested in memberships and just getting extra content from me, I have a link in the description box, or you should see a join button also when you're watching videos, or if you're on my like YouTube homepage, if you're there for whatever reason, you should also see a join button, and you'll see the different options for the different memberships. But this month, for January, my members voted on a try to get ready with me, where they asked in some questions and had some feedback on what they wanted me to talk about. And I also asked if there's anything that they wanted me to use in the video, and the most thumbs up was this palette, which I thought was great. I love Angelica. She's one of my great friends, and I was so excited for her when she released this, and it's so her. It's a little bit more intimidating to me, but I really loved the look that I did. I ended up layering Celestial and You're My Only Hope as my shimmer shades, and I thought the eye look came out so pretty. I got so many compliments. I went out for a going away party that night. I got so many compliments on my makeup, which I was super happy about. So it's a beautiful palette, great formula. It's just not one that I would call like an everyday palette for me, because it is a little bit more colorful, but it gets me out of my comfort zone from time to time, which is never a bad thing. Next up at number 5, kind of in the middle of the pack here, I have from Colourpop, and this is their By the Rose palette. This is the first eyeshadow palette that I used in 2022. If you haven't seen, I did do the eyeshadow palette tag part 2 with Ali Gline. So we started the eyeshadow palette tag last year, we did part 2 this year, and I'm already seeing so many creators that take on the tag video, which is so much fun. So I'll link it up in the cards if you haven't seen it yet. But one of the prompts in there, one of the questions is, what is the first palette that you used in 2022? And mine was By the Rose. This is a really pretty 9-pan palette from Colourpop. Colourpop definitely releases so much, as I'm wearing new Colourpop on my face today. They definitely release a lot, and sometimes that can be very overwhelming. I often do get PR from them, and honestly, even that is overwhelming, because I want to be able to review the products as quickly as I can, but it's so hard, and there's obviously so many other brands. But every once in a while they come out with something that I'm just like, what's that? And that is how I felt about By the Rose. I really like these shades in here. They're tones that I wear, and this is the really nice Colourpop quality. Sometimes their quality can change from palette to palette, especially when it comes with collab palettes, but the mattes in here are super smooth, very easy to work with. A lot of the shimmers that I've worked with in here, I apply with my fingers. They apply great. I really do like this palette. Is it gonna be like a top Colourpop palette for me? I don't think so in the scheme of all of my Colourpop palettes. I don't think it's gonna be like a number 1, but I still thought it was really pretty, really easy to work with. At number 4, another product from Colourpop, I have one of their Super Shock shadows. I feel like from here to number 1, this was so hard for me, but the one that I wore is a little Quarky. This is also what I took on my Mexico trip. This is such a beautiful shade, so I really have gotten into the Colourpop Super Shocks. Which is rare for me, because I wasn't, even when everybody was raving about them, I was like, I don't get it. I don't really love these, but I've gotten into them recently as I go to like even more simpler eye looks and very like fast out the door type of eye looks. I'm really reaching for the Super Shocks a lot, and a little Quarky is so beautiful. I think that this one is still available. I'll have everything linked down below like I always do, of course. But that shade, I mean, you saw even when I swatched it, it's just stunning. I can put this all over my lid and it just gives that shine, that glow to my eyes. It's so easy to apply, so easy to work with. Such a fan of this one. All right, at number 3, I have a new one from Natasha Denona, and this is the Mini Biba palette. So I have to say, the Mini Biba and the By the Rose remind me of each other just a little bit. I don't think they're like exact dupes, but I feel like the coloring is a little bit similar. Let me try to get away from my light too much here. So you feel like they're a little bit similar, right? And obviously the Colourpop, you have a little bit more shade options in here, but I think I like both of these a lot because they remind me of each other. With the Natasha, you have 3 mattes. You have this really beautiful shimmer topper here, and then this shade is more of a cream shadow, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that, but I actually really love it. I've done all matte looks with this palette. I've used the cream shadow and then also the shimmer shade. Like, I like Natasha Denona mini palettes so much. These retail for $25. I purchase a lot of them myself because I like these smaller palettes, and I really like this one. I like the quality on it. I like all the looks that I've done with it. It's one of those that when I go into it, I feel like I know what look I'm going to do, but it's not too like one-dimensional. It's not like I'm doing the exact same look over and over again. Which sometimes when you get down to like the 5pan palettes, it's like, okay, this is the same look I did last time, this is the same look I did last time. I feel like you can mix it up enough to where you can still get different looks, but I'm never like confused when I open this. I know what I'm going to do. Really enjoyed the quality in here. And yeah, I think the Mini Biba is a good one. All right, coming in at number 2, I have one of the Smoke Reflex from Auric, and this one is in Temper. So I am a big fan of these. This is Samantha Ravindell's brand. I'm a big fan of the Smoke Reflex. You have the cream shadow on one side, and then when you pop open the top, you have this glitter topper here, which is so beautiful. I have raved about these since the brand came out. I use these so often. This I threw in my travel makeup bag, and I wore it in Mexico, and I wore it another night here in Vegas because it's just so easy. You can just wear the cream shadow alone. You can wear just the glitter topper. You can wear them both. I speak so highly of these. I wear them so much. I'm constantly pulling them out of my little drawer where I keep my singles. I'm just such a fan. And then for number 1, I just had to give it to a holy grail. I had to give it to my holy grail. It's the ABH Sultry. I love the Sultry palette. I wore this on New Year's, and then because I wore it on New Year's, I had it sitting on my bathroom like my bathroom countertop, so I kept reaching for it, especially that first week of January, because it was just right there. But if you can see, I'm pretty light-handed. I obviously have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I use a lot of different palettes. A lot of times my palettes are not very dirty, and I feel like the Sultry actually looks very loved from me. It's just it's my favorite Anastasia palette by far, but it's just a favorite palette in my collection in general. I love the cool tones. I love the grays and the taupes. The shimmers in here are absolutely beautiful. Pearl is one of my most worn shades. Rose Quartz is so stunning. Oh my, even the browns, to do a brown smoky. I mean, this palette is just the bomb.com. I wish this was a permanent palette. Please, I love this one so much. So happy that I rang in 2022 with a favorite palette of mine, and I had to give it to it. I had to give the number 1 spot to a holy grail. So after that is it. Those are the 9 eye palettes, eye products that I tried in January of 2022, and ranking them from my least favorite to my top favorite. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this series at the start of every single month throughout 2022, so I can use more of my palettes, bring to you more looks with more palettes. I hope that you enjoy this. I do want to do more get ready with me videos also throughout the year, and then be able to grab, you know, some older palettes in my collection and that sort of thing, so I can have them for this video. But I'd love to know what you think of this idea. I hope that you like it. I hope that you will look forward to it every single month. Other than that though, that is it for me. If you enjoyed this one, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next video.